Kelly?
How many you get?
What was that? 60? So 45. Oh,
shit.
Coach Greg, in today's video, Cali Muscle, he has a second heart attack. It already wasn't looking good. The first heart attack, the Widowmaker, this can dramatically shorten your life, but he made it through. But now that he has a second heart attack, it's going to dramatically reduce his life expectancy. And on top of that, he's going to need to make significant changes. I'm going to go over his video. I'm going to explain what he should be doing if he wants to live longer than last time, what he should be taking, should he be using HRT. I'm going to answer all the questions. And so let's watch and hopefully you learn.
January 17th, I had another heart attack. Not at home, not asleep, at the gym.
60? So 45.
And so here's the thing. When people go to the gym, they're thinking of health, but people do in fact know that if you are at risk of a heart attack, that there's certain things that you should be doing in the gym and certain things that you shouldn't be doing into the gym. And so here's a great place to start. Cali Muscle has to stop training to failure. You should be at an RPE of perhaps 6, maybe 7, keeping several reps in the tank. And it's not about building muscle. What you want is a moderate amount of muscle, but certainly not a lot. The larger the muscles, the larger the body, and the more the heart is going to have to work. And so for Cali Muscle, he should be just going through the motions, lifting the weights, not really pushing himself, and just thinking about longevity, not about aesthetics. And as far as cardio concerned, that is his friend. Zone 2 cardio, he should be trying to get in perhaps 4 to 6 hours of Zone 2 cardio each and every week, 150 being the absolute minimum. But when you're trying to survive longer than last time, are you going to do the minimum or are you going to do what's ideal? Zone 2, remember, you can talk, you can form sentences. It's not overly strenuous, and that is going to improve his heart. And so what Cali should be doing is, for example, a full body workout, a circuit going from one machine to the next, not pushing himself to failure, certainly not doing the Valsalva maneuver, not going for 1 rep maxes, and doing a lot of cardio. For example, going on the stepper, the rowing machine, bicycle riding, and that should be his workout. And if he could do that, that would definitely extend his life.
If you think more drug, more steroids, more intensity mean a better quality of life, then you're mistaken, because I thought the same thing.
Absolutely. When you're an athlete, such as Cali Muscle, you want to go hard. You want to push harder than last time. What's hard for him is not going to the gym, not working out hard, not pushing his limits, but if he wants to live as long as humanly possible, longer than last time, to be around for his kids, his family, and so on, he has to put it on the back burner, and he just cannot do this. And as far as testosterone goes, people are wondering, well, what about HRT? It's still okay to use HRT, but in the lowest dose that makes you happy. And I'm not talking about sport TRT or testosterone optimization therapy. I'm talking about the bare minimum, perhaps 80 or 100 milligrams of testosterone a week. Many people, oftentimes, are going into the 150 to 200, dare I say even 250 milligrams. That is not TRT. I mean, you might feel like it's TRT, you might want it to be a TRT, but it is in fact too much. And remember, if you're looking to get TRT and clomiphene, your blood work, you're trying to avoid getting in a situation like this. Algo-RX, you get your blood work done. The doctors go over it and they will tell you exactly what you need. Perhaps you need telmisartan, do you need Cialis, do you need glutathione? What exactly are you looking for? Perhaps you need peptides to help reduce your cravings, to reduce some weight. Cali Muscle is not obese, and that certainly is going to help him. Many people who have cardiac events such as this, they're 300 pounds. That's going to put an even added strain on his heart. And so you can see, Cali is very lean, and that is in fact in his favor.
I went fruitarian for some years, which I kind of find out now causes fatty liver that causes your arteries to get clogged and blocked.
Eating a lot of fruit, it's not going to make you unhealthy. The same applies to vegetables, fruits. You're not getting heart attacks from eating too much watermelons. Remember, he had a heart attack only a couple of years ago, the Widowmaker, one of the worst ones you can get, and yet he survived. From that moment on, his life changed. He should have been on very low doses of TRT, going easy in the gym and doing a lot of zone 2 cardio, not pushing himself, not trying to set PRs, certainly not going back on higher doses of TRT. It's hard when you've had such an amazing physique for so long to roll back on those doses, but it is in fact a must. And so, no, don't think that carbs are the enemy. This is ridiculous. I don't care if it's from rice, potatoes, carrots, zucchinis, blueberries, raspberries. You can eat the fruits, the vegetables, the carbs, especially if you're going out and doing your cardio. Cardio is a savior. It's more important than lifting weights. Think of it. Which do you think would have been better for Cali muscle? Had he been bodybuilding, flexing the biceps, doing the bench press his entire life, or doing zone 2 cardio? Which muscle in the body do you think is the most important? Do you think it's this bicep, perhaps it's the pec? No, it's got to be the delts. I mean, think of it. Clavicular is putting in shoulder pads to be more impressive. The heart. You need to have a strong and healthy heart. And remember, when you do zone 2 cardio, you're still using your muscles. It's not like they're not being used. You don't think that when I ride a bike for an hour, 2 hours, whatever, that my quads are getting a workout? Now, it might not be as hard as doing 10 rep max on the squats, but it's harder than most people are going. Most people aren't doing any cardio at all. And so trust me, the world would change as we know it if people on average did 4 to 6 hours of cardio a week. Imagine 45 minutes a day, 7 days a week, whatever, however you want to do it. Imagine if everyone did that. The world would save billions, perhaps trillions of dollars on Medicare. That is the magic pill that doctors cannot prescribe. They can't write a script. Pharmaceutical companies can't make billions and trillions of dollars saying 150 minutes of cardio a week, or perhaps 300 would be even better. Do 2 hours of cardio this week and call me in the morning. It doesn't work like that. And so they make prescriptions, medications, and they make billions and trillions of dollars on people like Cali Muscle getting sick.
My genetics, yes. The more carbs I eat, the more clogged up I would get.
No, it's not true. I don't care what kind of genetics you have. He didn't get this from eating too many carbs. He's going to cope and he's going to make it look like, no, it was my diet, when we all know it was the steroids. He's not wrong about genetics. Genetics are more prone to getting these problems than others. Certain people have better genetics for using steroids. Certain people don't. Certain people, no matter what they do, they're going to get heart attacks, problems at a very young age. But it doesn't mean you don't try. And the worse your genetics are, the more you should be encouraged to do zone 2 cardio.
Those that don't know me, I did 11 years in prison. In that 11 years, I was eating top ramen every single day, honey buns. I had to have my 2 Snickers.
All of that perhaps is true. But what's more important than how many Skittles you're having, ramen noodles, donuts, candies, and so on, is your weight. For example, you got 2 people. Person A, person B, let's call them identical twins. Person A eats like absolute dog shit. All candies, cakes, cookies, ice cream, horrible diet. Person B, perfect diet. I don't care who they're following. Insert your favorite guru, and they're following that diet, whether it's carnivore, fruitor, whatever, skeletor. What? Whatever diet you think is best, that's the diet that they're following. Perfect. But here's the caveat. The junk food eater, they're doing an hour or 2 cardio a day, and they're eating exactly at maintenance. They probably have a 6-pack. They're at 15% body fat. Person B, all healthy, the perfect foods. They don't do any cardio whatsoever. Who do you think lives longer? Junk food eater. If you think that just eating a healthy diet is all that you need, it is not. The more important factor is how much cardio you're doing and are you at a healthy weight?
Well, I know I had some issues because I always seen my feet with water and edema. When I take off my socks, it had an indentation. So I had already acquired some type of plaque in my heart.
Genetic. It's not from eating carbs. It's not from having fruit. It's not from ramen noodles. Genetics. Think of it. He was 100% natural. He had an amazing physique for athleticism, for lifting weights, for putting on muscle, but yet he had edema in his feet. Edema, in case you don't know, it's when water, it pools in your lower legs. It's explaining how your body isn't pumping blood effectively. The heart, it pumps blood out and it goes down to your ankles and it's supposed to make its way back up. If the fluid is pooling in your ankles, it's not returning back to the heart, and this is bad. And so bodybuilders out there, especially, I mean, if you're not a bodybuilder, you got to go to the doctor. If you're a bodybuilder and you're on steroids and you see that your ankles keep getting swollen, you got to stop the steroids. It's not normal to get all this edema. And so when you see a guy like Larry Wheels gaining 53 pounds after a bodybuilding competition, what do you think is going to happen in the long run? Is it a joke? Do we laugh about it? We make fun? Oh, you gained 50 pounds. Oh, you ate too many cookies. Or do you think, do you know how bad that is for your body? Do you know that you're in early stages of perhaps getting a heart attack? Imagine what happens if you actually did get that heart attack. And even if you don't, the damage is done. It's going to keep getting worse year after year. And eventually, you're going to look back and think, why did I do it? Why did I not listen to Coach Greg?
I had my kids through IVF because I had to bring back up my sperm. I had to get off steroids for 2 years to bring back up my sperm.
Let me just remind you that I'd made a natty or not on him in the past, and I said that he was not natural. He got mad at me and said a bunch of things, and turned out he was on steroids. Of course he was. And so if you're on steroids and you just lie about it and you don't even tell your doctor, how are they supposed to know if you're healthy? Now, obviously using steroids is bad, but you need to get your blood work. You need to get checked out. You need to check your blood pressure. High blood pressure, it's horrendous. I went to my doctor just the other day. He tested my blood pressure. It was 100/60. He says, that's great. I'm thinking, man, that seems pretty low. But it's great because what if it was 140/90? Oh, it's not that bad. It's okay, right? Wrong. That's horrible. And so if you're just a little bit high, that's like saying, oh, you just took a little bit of poison. Don't worry, be chill. It's not a full lethal dose of poison. It's just a little bit. Would you like that? Of course not. And so you need to do something about it. Remember, you can get things from Algorex like Talmasartan. And if you are in fact overweight, you could lose weight. And if you aren't doing cardio, you would add it. And if you're on performance enhancing drugs, you would stop.
Stop it. Get some help.
You don't need to do the steroids. You're choosing to. But if the steroids are causing bad things to your body, of which they are, you are allowed to stop. It's amazing. I know you're 4 weeks out and you're about to get a heart attack and you're allowed to say, you know what? The show isn't worth it. In the moment, it feels like it's worth it because trust me, I've done it 59 times. It feels worth it. Like you're dieting, you're doing the things, you're taking the steroids, of which I didn't do the whole time. The first 42 I did natural, but I did steroids later. And you're thinking, well, it's worth it. And everyone else is doing it. And this is a sport that I love. And so if you fall in love with bodybuilding, the problem is bodybuilding involves steroids. It's kind of like if you fall in love with raving. Raving involves a lot of doing recreational things, sniffing creatine and so on. There's certain things that involve other things that are kind of not good for us. Like going to the bars usually involves drinking alcohol. And so not necessarily good. And so when you love bodybuilding, strongman, powerlifting, these sports, it usually involves a lot of steroids. And unfortunately, that's just the case. If you fall in love with badminton, tennis, pickleball, basketball, not a lot of steroids there. Not saying you can't use them, but not a lot. And so certain sports are more conducive to doing less crazy things than others. And so if you happen to fall in love with bodybuilding, you're probably watching the Trend Twins, you're probably watching Sam Sulik, and you're probably watching Chris Bumstead, all on steroids. You end up thinking, well, steroids is just normal, and then you do it, and then you keep doing it, and then you have to retire, you get all messed up, you can't do the things, and then you die. There is, of course, another way, and it's called natural bodybuilding. You know, where you use Turk Builder and use the Turk Platinum, and where people tell you, oh, it doesn't actually work because they haven't used it, and they don't believe that it's way better than creatine, even though it is. So I recommend you try that. And then you can be one of the Coach Greg supplement users, and you can tell the rest of the world that they got it wrong. And remember, there's a money-back guarantee and a $50 gift card. And so even if it didn't work, does it really matter? You're going to get all your money back. And so you get to try, and then you get to tell other people, oh, it didn't actually work for me. Rare, but it happens. And so why not give it a try? Code Greg 15% off.
But I was still eating that bodybuilder diet, a lot of rice. You know, my main thing was rice. That's what I would eat, oatmeal and rice. And for me, evidently, it don't metabolize right in my system.
You know, if it hadn't have been for the bodybuilder diet, probably wouldn't have had that widowmaker heart attack. I'd probably be going to lift to be probably 90, roughly 90. How much cope is this? But I mean, the guy had 2 heart attacks. He's probably trying to put it all into perspective. And it's hard to say, you know what, I got this because I'm an idiot and abused steroids. It's hard to say that. It's hard to admit that a choice that you made did something bad. And so you try to say, no, it's not this. It was just genetics. It would have happened anyway. It's hard to say, I made this decision, I abused steroids, and now I'm going to die significantly younger, of which he most certainly is. I'm sorry, but this dramatically reduces your life expectancy. He's not an old man. And when you get this a couple times, you can perhaps live 15 to 25 years longer if you do everything right, but he's not going to live to be into his 80s.
So with my body, that's going to convert into blockages in my artery, right? In my heart. And so, boom, I'd stop my medication.
Thinking time, folks. You know, I feel like I'm teaching the kids that I used to teach. I remember I was a school teacher for 11 years. Let's talk about this briefly. What do you think is more likely that caused him problems with his heart? Fruit, going off his medication. Choice is yours. Ding, ding, ding. Yeah, it's the friggin' going off the medication. That's the problem. It's not having too much fruit. It's not too much watermelon. Bro, no, it's not that.
Firstly, I had a widowmaker and I had a stent in. I wasn't supposed to stop my med, come to find out.
You know, why would doctors prescribe you medications that you should take? I mean, they just do it for fun. So when a doctor prescribes you medications, they're just thinking, I wonder if this fool will actually take them. That's not how it works. Doctors prescribe you medications because they think they do more good for you than harm. And so if the doctor says you need to take a talmosartan, if the doctor says you need to take a beta blocker, if the doctor tells you to take anything, it's because he thinks that by taking that specific medication that your life will get better than if you do not take it. That is why my endocrinologist, which is an expert in hormones, prescribed me HRT.
After my workout, I would have 4 eggs. Then I would go about the day, have a cup of tea. And at night, I would have like some fish and a salad or quinoa.
Diet seems great. Being scared of rice, no real need to be scared of the rice. You know, he had the quinoa, I was scared of the rice. You can have the rice. You know what I would be scared of, though? Taking 200 milligrams of test a week. I would definitely be scared of that. Would I be scared of 150? I would be scared of 150. 100, I probably wouldn't be scared of 100, so long as the doctor prescribes it and says, you know, this looks good, your HDL is okay, your LDL is okay, everything seems in order. I would be scared of the HRT if it was in higher doses. I would be scared of not taking the medications that my doctor prescribes to me. Isn't it crazy how irrational people are on the things that they consider to be important? Like the low-hanging fruit, the most important thing that you can do. And I looked up low-hanging fruit. Apparently you're not allowed to say it anymore because it's racist or something. I don't feel like I'm racist by saying low-hanging fruit. And so the low-hanging fruit, probably to take your medications. Up on the hierarchy of important things to do when you have a heart attack, avoiding rice, it's so not low-hanging. I can't even reach it. Now, I understand I'm a 5'6" manlet. I can't reach very high, but even with a step ladder, I can't get up to the part where it says that you shouldn't have rice. My father almost died of a heart attack a couple years ago, and there was a paramedic on the scene at the exact moment where he had the heart attack and saved his life. And so I understand a lot about heart attacks, and my dad is not scared of rice. I do know that he does a lot of cardio. He does a lot of fast walking. Even on the cruise ship, we're on vacation together for about 11 days. He was walking every single day. He's trying to be fit. That's what you need to do. Rice is one of the best things you could eat. It's great. Rice, potatoes. What you wouldn't want to have is a bunch of sugar-laden, ultra-processed foods like Haagen-Dazs and licorice and jelly beans, but rice. Rice is not killing you.
Fast forward to January 17th. I had already worked out in the morning, which I could show you guys some clips.
And so just the fact that he had a heart attack, holding your breath and flexing for all you're worth, that is not good. You're not supposed to do the Valsalva maneuver. You're not supposed to force maximally like this, as it does create a problem.
Before I went to the gym, I banged my finger. I don't know if y'all can see it right there. So I smashed my finger in the door. So that was really a sign that something was off. I've never did that in my life.
No. Because let's say he had skipped the gym that day. Oh man, I banged my finger. I never bang my finger. How often does any of us bang our finger? If I bang my finger or stub my toe, do you think I'm not bike racing tonight? Like, really? I'm not going to the gym. I bang my finger. Imagine every day how many things that happen. Oh, buddy cursed me out. I'm not going to the gym today. This is ridiculous. And think of it like this. If this hadn't happened today, if he had skipped gym day that day, you don't think it would happen the next day or the day after that, the day after that? It would have eventually happened because he's not doing everything right.
And as you see, I did 65 straight push-ups, got out, and that heart must have went crazy.
Yeah. 65 is too much. Had he had done 30, probably would have been fine. Cardio, zone 2. But when you really, really push yourself and you have a heart such as this, it's not good for it. It's not made to handle that load.
EMT, he shocked me, do CPR till the ambulance come. And I'm unconscious, guys. And so I come to find out I was in a coma, induced coma 3 days.
And so the reason he would have been in an induced coma for multiple days is they would have cooled his body temperature by perhaps 3 degrees or so. This is to increase the likelihood that he does not get brain damage. This can actually happen. You're passing out, you're having a heart attack, you're collapse on the floor. This can cause certain parts to basically to shut down.
They would have been fatherless. My wife would have been a widow. You know, it's just all because of my past mistakes. You know, with eating wrong, then bodybuilding, doing steroids.
There it is. I mean, he's admitting it all right now. Health is wealth. Health is everything. I got a family. All this nonsense, the eating, the bodybuilding, the abusing steroids, all this nonsense, it added to this. And the problem is you're all mostly younger people watching this and you don't think it's going to happen to you. You're thinking, yeah, but that's just him. Or, hey, if I make it to 40, who cares? This is just ridiculous thinking. You need to realize that this can happen to you right now. And what's going to happen is when you're older, you're going to think, oh my God, there's so many things I didn't realize that when I was young that I needed to get more age, wisdom, maturity in order to realize it. And so if you're smart right now, what you'll do is you'll talk to older people and you'll gather their wisdom and apply it to yourself earlier in your life. Because think of it, they've gone through life, they've experienced the things that you're going to experience, and so they understand. And so when they tell you something, it's because they already know. This is like talking to Coach Greg. I've already seen the final exam and I know all the answers and I'm trying to help you. Now, you might think it's cheating by getting enhanced wisdom from the future right now, but there's no laws against this here in life. You're allowed to listen to me and other people who have experienced these things. And when we say, don't abuse steroids, don't abuse recreational drugs, do your cardio, don't be a fat piece of shit, lazy, obese, and not doing your cardio.
I can understand you want to be fit and in shape. You could do that naturally. I was super jacked. At 34, never touched nothing in my life. Didn't even drink pre-workout.
Exactly. You can be fit and in shape, compete, all these things naturally. I mean, Sam Sulek, if he wasn't on steroids, he wouldn't be jacked like he is, but he could still be competing in bodybuilding, but in natural bodybuilding. There's drug-tested bodybuilding and there's regular bodybuilding. You can compete in the IFBB and you can go against Sam Sulek and C-Bomb and the rest. You can compete in a drug-tested version. Did you all not like the way Will Tennyson looked when he competed natural? Perhaps Jesse James West or Hussein Farhat, they all competed in natural bodybuilding competitions. And so you don't need to abuse performance-enhancing drugs to be a bodybuilder. You're not going to be as big. You're not going to be as huge. You might not be as shredded, but it's still good. And who's going to laugh last? When you're 50 and dead because you abuse steroids? Or when you're 80 and still thriving.
There's a lot of bodybuilders that's going through these situations, but they don't want to seem weak. They don't want to let you know that they had an episode.
And so another great point he's making, who else is explaining this stuff? You don't see this stuff. The only time you see about the problems is when they die. People aren't talking about, you know what, I had a heart attack, I had this happen, I had that happen, I went to the doctor and oh my God, my blood work and my blood pressure, and I'm on these amounts of medications, it's insane. They're not mentioning that because they don't want you to know. And so Callie's a real world example of what can happen, and it happens way more often than you think. People, they just are blinded by these things. You're not aware of it. If people are, for example, impotent, they can't get a hard-on from taking steroids, and now they're off the steroids, they can't get. Do you think they're making videos? Hey, I want to announce to the world that I can get hard. They don't say that. They announce to the world, look at the guns. Look at me. I'm shredded. Look how amazing I look. Look at my before and after transformation. They don't show the blood work and say all the problems. How many times do you see people showing their blood work when they do a bodybuilding competition? They show it after. When it's as good as it's been, they show you their best blood work. How many people show you their worst blood work?
A big thing, like I say, for me and knowing that something was wrong with my heart was edema, water retention. So you got to be careful, man. That's the first sign, man.
I would say that an earlier sign than the edema is high blood pressure. It's high. Like, why is it high? What do you think that's going to do? Do you think that's good for your body? If you have high blood pressure, every day, every beat, it's high. It's making your heart work that much harder. And so it's weakening the body. You cannot let it keep going. And so that is an even earlier sign. If you're already getting the edema, well, technically, part of it, it's already too late. You need to do something immediately.
How many people a year die of heart attacks? 700,000 in America? What you think? Maybe 100 of those people took steroids.
Callie never admits he was good at math. 100 people out of 700,000. If only 100 people out of 700,000 got a heart attack that did steroids, then I would literally be making a video saying, do you know what? You should all take steroids if your goal is to prevent heart attacks, because to have only 100 out of a sample size of 700,000, it's probably closer to 5,000. It's 50 times more likely than he's explaining. Don't think that, oh, well, only 100 out of 700,000. That would be 1 out of 7,000. You only think that one person out of 7,000 people that die of a heart attack, only one, minuscule, only one had a heart attack. This is ridiculous.
Don't just get caught up in this fitness bodybuilder world. Rice, chicken, steak, eggs. You know what I mean? Like, you got to find out what works for you and your body.
Rice, chicken, steak, and eggs is not going to be the cause of a heart attack. Steroids? Maybe. Not getting proper sleep, using and abusing recreational drugs, increased stresses, alcohol, ignoring going to the doctor, not getting your blood work taken ever, and just living your life FOMO and saying, you only live once. You only live once. You don't get to come back and do over. And so please do it right the first time.
I'm beyond ecstatic to be here with you guys still, my family, my kids.
Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the album, like the video if you liked it, do something about it. If you liked the video, change your life. Stop doing the bad things, do more of the good things, and live a longer time than last time. Watch any of those two bloops. And of course, if you're looking for HTLT supplements, you can get them on the website. And if you're looking for AlgaRx, code Greg for both of these things for discounts. HTLT looking for sponsored athletes. If you have a big following, if you have anything, apply, click the link. If you want to carry HTLT supplements in your stores, gyms, link, click, apply. And until next time, I am out.